Going on. This is my first video. I just want to remember this day as we get started here. Just kind of going back, talking a little bit about where I came from, what happened, what's going on now. And God has always told people that they're supposed to give back. And this is my chance to give back all the information that I've learned and gained over all these years. So this is my first shot at it. So here we go. So for you guys that don't know me, I've always been a kind of athletic person, wanted to be involved in sports, loved sports my whole life, wanted to play basketball, football. For whatever reason, God didn't choose that for me. I was a, good sized young man growing up. Got to be 6'4", but didn't play sports the way I wanted to. Didn't make it to the league, but I was always involved with business and sales. I started selling at an early age. So I guess that's what God wanted for my life, for me to have the ability to be able to communicate effectively with people. And so that's something that I've always been blessed with. I started knocking on doors at the age of, I guess I was in the seventh or eighth grade when I started. So I had to be maybe 11 or 12 years old, going up to people's doors, introducing myself, taking a basket of goods, whether it be pot holders, oven mitts, candy, whatever it was that was in baskets. And we had a script that we had to learn. And I learned how to sell door to door. And so I was the best salesman everywhere. So I wasn't getting a chance to play sports like I wanted to, but I was getting a chance to win because I was beating everybody at selling. So I could, any night, if somebody sold 10, I sold 20. If somebody sold 20, I sold 30, or whatever was the occasion was. But we first initially started out selling newspapers for the Dallas Morning News. That was pretty interesting. I'm here in Dallas. So we sold newspapers door to door. We went everywhere selling those newspapers. And one of the greatest skills that I learned selling those newspapers was like I said, the ability to knock doors, talk to people, just the spirit of being able to know how to interact with people when they came to a door. When you're knocking on 40, 30, 40, 50 doors a day, you learn a lot about people and how to dissect spirits of people. So you could tell good energy pretty quickly. You could tell bad energies pretty quickly. So I just want to, talk to you guys a little bit about what I learned. And the most important thing I learned was salesmanship. And I think that's the top ability that any individual, whether he be uh, young, old, female, male, whatever the case may be, if you have the ability to sell, you'll always have opportunities for jobs, opportunities for careers, opportunities to start your own businesses, which I've done a number of them over the years. So that's the number one thing is salesmanship. So I don't know if who is this going to reach, but if you can learn how to sell, and I'm here to, help as many people as I can learn how to sell, so much so that I started a business of, selling different products. So right now we're marketing a product uh, over the internet. You find a little bit more information I'm gonna put down in the in the description, so you'll be able to go back to it and find out a little bit more about that. But that's not the reason I came here to sell you something. I came here just to give some background. I started three different companies. I started maybe four different companies. I started my first company was a salesmanship company where we had teenage work program where I used to pick up young individuals, teach them a sales script that they would take to the door just like I had did at 7 to 8 years old. And they would go up to the door and sell a number of different products. These were young men like myself who grew up in the inner city, who didn't have opportunities to have jobs. We didn't have parents who had a lot of money. So we had to create opportunities for ourselves. And I just didn't realize how valuable that would be for me because there was a lot of young men who also grew up in my neighborhood that didn't get that opportunity, who played sports, didn't make it to the pros, didn't make it to the NBA, didn't make it to football, didn't make it to the soccer league. We didn't have soccer leagues back then, but we played a lot of soccer. So, but in the process, at the time I was very upset about not being able to do what I thought would be my lifelong career, which was sports. But learning how to sell and being able to sell has taken me so far in life. And, if I could give back to this world, it would be my ability to talk to people. Everywhere I go, I talk to people all the time. I'm always interested in what people are doing, how they're doing it. So I never meet a stranger. So when you get a chance to go to thousands upon thousands of doors as a young person, you learn that ability to be able to communicate effectively. So, hopefully, as I move forward with what I'm trying to do in the sales niche or salesperson niche, I can possibly offer some small business niche. I can offer some things that might be beneficial to somebody to help them along their way as they learn how to start a business, whether it be an online business, whether it be a home service business, which I started a home building business back in 2004 before everybody. There was no YouTube at the time. I met my mentor. He taught me how to build houses. I built my first 4 or 5 houses, had great success. So it was definitely a great time for me. I also started a limousine business in the early 1999. Actually, I partnered with somebody who already had a limousine business, and we ran those limousines from hotels. We did the proms, but you had to have the ability to sell, talk to people. I didn't get in it too much to drive. I got in to sell and do contracting and get contracts from different situations. I had Tyler Perry in the back of our limo. We had a number of different celebrities from football players, basketball players in the back of our limousine service here in Dallas. It's called Touch of Class Limousine. So, shout out to my boy Donovan, who was with me at that particular time. So we did that limousine business for a number of times. And then 9/11 came and stopped that limo business in its tracks. But the one thing I remember about the limo business was the way we ran it and how the world has changed so much since that time. At that time, we had advertising was yellow pages. We ran yellow page ad, full page yellow page ad will cost you 5 figures to run that particular ad. We had telephones and we had radio walkie talkies and we ran the cars and it was just a totally different world. There was no Uber at all. So, everybody was involved with our limousines. There was no black car service like there is today. So we ran those limousines, the proms and that type of stuff. So that business taught me a lot about customer service, taking care of people, and how to drive a car. Of course, some people don't know how to drive a car when you have a passenger in the car with drinks and food, and you'd be amazed at what you learn in the limousine business. So that was pretty interesting. But the marketing part of it and the sales part of it, that's totally 100% changed today. I think about how we did it and now how businesses like a limousine business or a home service business would start up today is a lot different than it would be in the past. But the insights we got from the past still exist, but the new funnels, the new social media marketing, you guys got to learn that stuff. That's number one. The online business funnel, the way that operates, the Facebook ads, the YouTube ad, it's a whole new world out here. But the key thing about it is the opportunity to brand yourself. And I talk to people all day, especially young people who are not putting themselves out there in a quality way. You got to. That's the salesmanship part of it. Just whoever you are, polish yourself up, love yourself, get out there and start, you know, putting stuff out there in a proper way, selling yourself, selling a product. Because corporate America, also, I had corporate jobs also, but none of the corporate jobs for me as an African American man in the USA, it was no take a job and keep a job for 20 or 30 years. The jobs that I took mainly were sales jobs, which I was growing in. I was doing well for the company. As a matter of fact, one company that I worked for, I took their revenues to, I think they was doing over like $1,000 per month when I got there. At the time I left, they were doing over $1 million a month. And I had blown out their commission system. I had made way more than they thought I should make in commissions. I mean, probably 3 times the amount. And they basically told me that they were going to cut my salary back down to three times less than what I made. I mean, I made over six figures, but they would cut me back down to five figures because I had blown out their commission plan, which I was like, what? I'm in sales. I'm in a position to make commissions, but I realized corporate America was just they're a system that runs for the upper echelon to be able to take money, take profits out of those companies, and take care of those families. They're not meant to take care of us. They're meant to keep you trapped. So the online businesses that are available here today, with the right structure, you can start your great online business, work with other people who have brands like yourself, and work together, and people can get a lot more accomplished because the corporate America and Wall Street is going to they're taking over. And I don't have anything against Wall Street or corporate America. I'm just saying that if you really want to try to break free from the system, you got to start your online business. And it's been the greatest opportunity ever I've seen to be able to start a online business, get something going, and be involved in sales. Because this particular system, I mean, when I was growing up, I could not access more people than maybe 30 miles around, maybe 40 to 50-mile radius around my household. So when I went out and sold stuff, I could only go so far. Whereas today you have access to the World Wide Web. And I remember when internet was dial, where you had to dial up, and then you dialed on to the system. Some of you guys don't know nothing that I'm talking about, but it was nothing like just click a button. And we didn't have the cell phone we had was not anything like today. You couldn't talk on it. I can't imagine the world that we exist in today. But it is a great opportunity. And if you're not taking advantage of it right now, this may not come back your way. I remember missing out on the internet stocks, how they blew up. And I remember, not taking advantage of I took advantage of the internet. I've been trading online since probably 1999 with that dial-up system because I worked as a broker for a company for several years, got my license to sell financial services products and that type of stuff, which was a great adventure. I learned a lot. But again, they would put me in a situation where I would work for their company, sell the products that they wanted me to sell, and then they would just let me go and keep all the business that I brought in, that book of business that I brought in, they wanted to keep it for themselves. So they were basically just hiring people to bring them on, build their business. And then if you decided to leave, they would actually sue you if you tried to come after those clients who were your friends and families and personal people that you had developed relationships with. So again, the machine goes on. You have to develop your own brand, learn how to sell, make sure you set up a good corporate structure, S Corp, C Corp, uh, uh, LLC, what have you. Brand your business, get started with your business. And the one thing I say is just stick with the business. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether it be a product or a service, you got to be able to sell. I had people that I consulted with. I had a guy who told me he was in business for himself, but he didn't want to sell. Oh, I'm not doing no sales. I was like, you're not doing no business if you're not doing no sales. If you're going to start a business, you got to understand you got to be able to sell. And everybody has to be able to sell. If you're not selling, then you're not making any money and you're tied to corporate America. Hopefully that works for you. It works for a lot of people, but it hasn't been something that's done well for me, my family members, or my friends. A lot of people I know that work for jobs and gave 1,000% effort, those companies are gone now. My dad worked for a trucking company for a number of years, showed up early, stayed late. When it was time to go, he was the first one they laid off. So I'm just telling you guys got to start selling, get it done. So this channel will be dedicated to my knowledge, my information, ways to sell, how to sell, features, advantage, benefits, closing techniques, everything you need to be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna try to give it to you, and hopefully we can get together and accomplish some things together also. So I just want to thank you for this is my first YouTube video. I'm excited about trying to start this channel and blowing it up, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So I look forward to hopefully getting you guys to subscribe to my channel. Hopefully, I give you great knowledge, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm being like my mom right now, I'm long-winded. So anyway, small business, not small business, but starting a business online. I don't want it to be small, make it large, 10, 12, $15 million. Uh, definitely you can do it for sure. Uh, Sales techniques, closing techniques, meeting people. I just want you guys to start opening it up and talking to people everywhere you go. So I'll be your OG mentor. So if you need some help and you're looking for someone to help you learn how to talk to people, interact with people, take your product, close your product, set up a funnel for your business to convert sales. I mean, I've been doing it my whole life. I've taken products, walk to the door and sell it. I've been given stuff, pencils, pens, papers, computers, whatever it is, I can sell it. So I look forward to taking the ability that I did learn, which was selling, and using that to help as many people as I can. So thanks again, long winded. Hope you guys have a great day.